Hey, folks, welcome to What's Going On segment called After the Dance. Now, if you guys know anything about Marvin Gaye, that was one of his songs called After the Dance. So, after the show, this is After the Dance, and we're getting ready to chop it up on some more social issues that really are congruent to what's going on here. And I want to thank Joe for sticking around, and I want to thank Ryan as well. And Greg, thank you for all that you guys do. But, Greg, we were talking to Joe about what's happening in Minnesota and how things are playing out. Greg, any similar situations going on in Vegas? Are they protesting in Vegas? Are they making some noise in Vegas?
Yeah, I think protests are nationwide right now. I think they're calling for more No Kings marches, and they're going to be bigger than ever. And we're going to, they're going to start hitting corporate America where it hurts. You know what I mean? And that's the only way. Corporate America doesn't care anything until it comes down to the bottom line, right? You start affecting the bottom line, then your voices will be heard. They had to do the same thing back in the, when we were fighting for the civil rights. We had to do the exact same thing. You had to hit them in the pocketbook, and then they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, now change might not be so bad." So, I mean, we came too far to go backwards like this. I mean, to be ran like this, and like I said, dude, I can't even call them friends because they don't understand what I'm talking about. They think this is good for the country. How is this good for the country? You know what I mean? It goes back to that we can both watch something or hear something and interpret it so totally different, or maybe
Mm.
that's how they really believe. Maybe this is who they are, And I think I had to start looking at those people that are in my life like this. Maybe they aren't my
It does
friends, and
make
this
you
is what
take
they truly
inventory. Am
believe
I
in.
right, Joe?
And you know,
Well, Greg mentioned something earlier about the country club and playing golf. And Nate and I have talked about this, and I think even we talked about it with Ryan. Greg, because you were a professional athlete and a celebrity and are still a celebrity, brother, you're suffering from the Michael Jordan syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a black man, you're a celebrity.
no, and I understand. Minus the B he has in front of his name or
Right.
behind his name. I think we're a lot different. You know what I mean? In the championships, but no, I get it, Nate. We all are. Anyone that dons a uniform and thinks we're accepted for a reason, right? If my brother can't walk in the same thing and get the same respect and the same things that I get, and that's because of my past. I understand that, and that's why I try to live my life like that. I don't really want for too much from anybody. You know what I mean? I believe, I was raised with, hard days work pay, you get a hard day's pay. So for me, I know what is expected. I know if they're using me, I try to turn around and use them if that's the case. But like you said, we got to do inventory, right? We have to clean house. And nothing says that more than the Christian Bible. Not the Bible says iron sharpens iron. So you have to clean house. And as much as I thought these people were in my life because they cared about me, you find out they really don't. Because if they see me hurting, or if I seen someone that didn't look like me hurting, it would still affect me. I would still say, this can't be right. But for people to look at me and say, even when he got elected, man, them other 4 years you guys say were great, weren't great for people that are color. You know what I mean? It was separation, it was divide, and this time it's going to be even worse. And they were like, no, no, no. And to circle back what Nate was talking about, or Ryan, until something happens to them, until they started killing people that look like them, then they realized really how effed up this place is. Because as long as they look like us and what Kaepernick was talking about, that was okay. You know what I mean? They just did George Floyd, rest in peace, in public, out, where the outcry outweighed whatever they did, but they still got off. You know what I mean? But now they're killing people that look like
But
them,
you
and
know
the
the same
nation's saying
part,
enough
Greg?
is enough.
It
And I
should have been
think,
enough seeing them just
for
kill other
all,
human beings. See,
man,
that's the part for me that has always been a little warped. Okay. It's like when the Nazis were storming through Europe and nobody wanted to do anything until they came, to them. And now we got to do something. Now it's overblown. Oh my God, no! Those Black lives, Sandra Bland, those men who were lynched, those lives are meant just as much as the two white folks that they killed on TV. And I hate to say it like that, but they don't look at us as human beings. So until
Well, Nate, I think you're right, Nate. You know what? And that's what like during my house cleaning, I said, because they don't look like you guys, and I have two sons. I have cousins and relatives and family members that don't look like you guys, and you
yep,
guys are saying it's okay for them. I worry about shit you guys don't worry about. I have to worry about things just for being this color, driving down the street. What might happen to you, or walking down the street, or say you're on vacation and you're in West Palm and KKK come running up on you, or you're in Ohio, and you guys saying this is okay. You don't have to worry about that. So how can you speak on that? How can you tell me it doesn't exist? And that's what they need to stop doing, telling us what we don't need to worry about, because we are worried about it. They don't have to. And it goes back to Kaepernick again, Nate. Those lives mattered enough for him to
yep,
quietly protest and bring attention to it, because every life is important. Whether it's Charlie Kirk, whether it's whoever, no one deserves to die like that. But Charlie Kirk's death, you
mm-hmm.
you want to take down this man back here who fought for everybody. You want to dismiss this history and put plaques up of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Joe.
Well,
Because
and it's beyond. Okay, so what people are seeing on the national news are white people being murdered, and they're saying, "Oh my God!" But it's more insidious than that. For example, in my granddaughter's middle school, Highland Park Middle School, well, the school district of St. Paul has
Mhm.
gone to online learning. Like when we were in COVID, kids don't have to come to school anymore because when their parents were
Mm,
coming to school to pick them up, ICE was there. So, what just in her school alone, there are 200 families. You know what we're all doing? We're buying groceries. We're having grocery drives. We're giving people rides. There are people who right now are taking out their trash. You know the trash you take out to the curb? Those people are afraid to do that. So somebody else has to go take their trash and put it out on the curb because these people are afraid to leave their homes.
No, I get it, Joe.
And that's
But
just like one school, one neighborhood.
and I think that defines us as people. More people care about humanity than the other half, right? And I think this has been our wake up call to it. And like you said, cleaning house again. Okay, they're getting rid of illegals, but what kind of illegals? Ones that don't look like you. But how many Russians and Europeans and you know we're gonna bring Africa? Oh, you guys are killing them over there. No, we're not. No, we're not. It's blatant racism. That those white farmers get to come in and they get asylum and they get to a free pass. But anybody that doesn't look like that, you know, it's blatant racism. And if you don't see it that way, we can agree to disagree, but you might be a racist too.
Have you all seen the pictures of Liam in custody with his
Yep.
dad?
Yep.
Ryan, have you seen it?
I don't know if I've seen that.
The 5 year
Ryan,
old,
there's a photo.
Oh, the
Uh,
kid, the young kid that got
yeah,
arrested.
yeah,
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 5 year
yeah,
old.
with the bunny hat.
yeah. Look, guys, I gotta say because I'm at these white tables, and they're definitely racist. It is what it is. Not all of them. As we see, there's a lot of good people that come forward. But the same reason why hundreds of years ago they didn't want to give blacks rights, they didn't want to give women's rights, is because it's a bunch of people trying to retain their power. It's a bunch of white people that have always had power that believe that they founded the country, and that's the new thing. That's the new thing that they're claiming that they say behind closed doors. A lot of these racist white people is that they're just trying to protect Christianity in America. They're trying to protect their, like they deserve to have this or that because their forefathers started that. Meanwhile, most of their forefathers were not the ones that started America in the first place. So, for what it's worth, Greg, it is sad that you're seeing, people kind of expose themselves because yeah, they probably are. Racist is a word that I guess people kind of overuse, but to me, it's just humanity. You either believe in war or you don't believe in war. You either believe that people should be murdered in the streets or that they shouldn't. You believe that people should be able to speak their minds and speak their truth and peacefully protest, or you don't. So to me, it really is, I hate to say it, becoming more of a battle of
Well,
good
it's
versus
funny you
evil
said that
at this
because
point. It's
Joe and
morally
I, we make
unjust.
films.
Well,
And Joe said that there were two movies that we equate Greg and Ryan to Donald Trump in this whole scenario. And the first one is the Manchurian Candidate. Okay, so he's an op, a special op. And the second one, Joe said, that was mad deep.
He's Russian.
What is it, Joe? The Omen. Think about the Omen's present about Damien in the White House.
Think of the premises. Think of the premise for the Omen. The devil in the White House.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm going to go back to this. I think this country is also because there are a lot of great people that don't look like us out there too. So I don't want to, caveat and say everyone that doesn't look like me or anyone that's white is a racist, because it's not true.
But I don't think anyone was accept that though, Brad.
No. It is pretty much, they have to be untaught. It's things that we can't even help. I didn't even realize how racist I was until I had a black woman that I was really in love with and live with. And it's just like, you look at things so much differently.
You just said
there's levels to it, but it really comes down to this. You believe that people are.
Rewind that, because the way he said it.
Yeah, you have to
you really do, because you're tapping into people's psyche, right? People's psyche.
Fake history, whitewashed history, like this has been going on, literally. History.
But hold on a second. Here's the part, though, right? The reason, and it was a white lady that said this, that she never spoke out because she didn't want to lose her whiteness. She said that if she would have said some foul stuff about her husband, and she knew he was foul and corrupt and all that, she would have lost her place in society, because she ain't had no job, she ain't working, she ain't got no skill set. So, Joe, I lose my white privilege if I speak up. And even the poorest white dude on the damn, I hate to say this, and I tell them this all the time, they be begging. I go, my man, you're white. This is America. You can go take some black dude's job. I hate to say it like that. Go clean yourself up. Clean yourself up, buddy. Get a haircut. Go to Goodwill, get a suit. I bet you take a black man job. I hate to say it like that, man. He looks at me like, I'm like, why are you? And I know I know why, but at the end of the day, the optics, man. You can't be asking people for money and they seniors and you 27 years old, okay? And you're a white dude in America, 27 begging. Ryan, how does that make white people look?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll tell you, I had a white beggar come up to me with a frappuccino that must have been $9. And he's sitting there and he's got his little sign and he's no older than me. And I know there's mental illness and it's sad, but man, shave your beard. I haven't been able to afford a frappuccino since I worked at Starbucks and got it for free. What are you talking about?
The bottom line is, we want to believe in what we want to believe in. If it affects us, then it's important. If it doesn't, we shoo it away, right? So, all these people that are saying, immigration, and he said he was going to do this, but he's only doing it to certain people. That's the problem. If you're going to do immigration, do immigration. Don't do immigration to Black, brown, and Asian people. You know what I mean? Or, the Indians and everyone that doesn't look like you. Do it to everyone. You know what I mean? But that's not what they're doing. So that's my problem with the other party. We can agree on policy. We can disagree on all that stuff, but we have to agree on.
But here's a wild part about immigration.
Oh, he's standing up for widespread immigration.
But here's the wild part about immigration, Greg.
But he said he was going to do it.
But Greg, here's the wild part about immigration.
Yeah, but why did you doing it to certain people?
Obama did immigration to a whole bunch of motherfuckers out of the country. You never heard about it. Joe Biden did the same thing. But what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you, Obama got rid of a whole bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't even hear about it, Joe.
Obama he has gotten rid of more people than any other president. No, they're blaming him. They're still blaming him. Everything that comes out of their mouth is Biden, Obama.
It's not
Biden,
what
Obama.
you do; it's how you do it. They keep comparing ICE to the SS Waffen, and they keep comparing ICE Nazis. These guys are not near. They are not competent. They're not dress good. It's a bunch of redneck slobs that have no idea what they're doing. It's the poorest look you could possibly imagine for a federal agency to try to pull this off. They're doing it in the absolute worst way. We can all agree that we don't want murderers here and rapists here and all types of people that are committing crimes. So how do they go about it?
Those are the
absolute worst way possible. Nonsensical, unorganized, chaos.
But
Exactly.
the same guys, the same people that stormed the Capitol are now ICE agents. How does that work?
That's it.
How does that work? You know what? But if you look like me and you have 2 joints on you and you drive down the street, you're doing 5 years for 2 joints. But you can storm the Capitol and become an ICE agent and get $50,000 bonuses and stuff like that. So real talk is real talk. And when you want to look at it and people want to justify the BS, it's BS. You storm the Capitol, he pardons you, but you care about law enforcement and people, but you don't care about those ones. Not that day. Everyone gets a pass. But the people that are even in his party, this is the sick part, that hated Kaepernick for kneeling because he was trying to bring attention to it. They don't have a problem with people trying to kill
Nancy Pelosi,
the vice president at the time and people inside that building. They get a pass. Oh, it's they get a pass. They're trying to kill Pence. They're trying to do all that stuff. Now, hey, we're going to give you a $50,000 bonus. Come be an ICE agent, and you get your slates, wiped clean. You get a pardon, your slate's wiped clean, and no one has a problem with that. And like I said, I can't wait for the day that it turns. And I'm a nonpartisan because I vote on each policy as I believe. You know what I mean? And as everyone should be. But I don't have a party, but I do have empathy for human lives and human beings and the way, this is the most powerful country in the world. And the way we're living now, we're going backwards, and I don't understand it. And I think it has to be addressed. And these same people that think that this is okay, it's going to flip. And when it flips, I don't want to hear nothing. Shut your mouth.
I'm going to give Joe the last word.
Because that's what you're doing now while he's doing all this. I don't want to hear anything.
Real quickly, and this hasn't been mentioned either. And I think somewhere there's a significance to it. Somewhere. Those guys who murdered Alex Preddy, they're working for the federal government. Alex Preddy was working for the federal government. So you got these guys killing not only an innocent person, but a person that works for the federal government. This guy worked for the VA. He was an ICU nurse. Think about that.
Yeah.
They're killing their own, basically.
Because he disagrees with them. See, you know what? But you should be able to disagree with him. You should be able to voice your opinion nonviolently. Because he's now no longer with us. And that's the problem. And if someone doesn't have a problem with that, just like, Nate, you were talking about, and Ryan was mentioning you have to be untaught.
Yep.
That's why the first thing the administration did was go after the schools so they can put certain things in the schools.
To continue it. Because the schools is breaking it up. So they got to continue the madness. So they was breaking it up. It's like, no, so now I got to continue it.
Yeah.
So, hey, folks, we got to go.
Especially in places like Texas.
Or Oklahoma, where the illiteracy rate is 95% higher than anywhere else. So all the red states that have all the problems, but that's why he can control them, because they can't think. They don't know how to think.
And
they just get
it's like for years. There's been an agenda essentially to make white people think that they're the smartest. There's been history that is taught to you since the time you're a little kid that makes you think the whole world is Eurocentric, that only Western beliefs make sense, that Africa is this poor country that's starving, yet I'd rather live there. There's way more culture there. All the history from that entire continent just gets brushed to the side. It really, honestly, you don't learn anything until you get to college. And how many of these people actually go? How many ICE agents went to a real history class?
But Ryan, I agree with you, but it's, like Nate said, they were doing a better job.
Yep.
Maybe not a great job,
Yep.
but that's why they attacked the school system as soon as they got into office. Now we got to go ahead and erase all that stuff that we taught these, these baby boomers and all the
Yep.
rest of it. Now we got to erase all that, and now we got to start controlling these young kids. And
Yep.
that's why you see all these, I don't want it, white supremacists or white nationalists having at 13, 14 having
They're
pockets
getting
because
they're getting
brainwashed. You know what I mean?
white
It's
radicalized.
it's not so much.
And
It's
that's
not.
basically what it is. And that's how you do it. That's what Charlie Kirk. And like Joe
Yes.
said, anytime his grandson get a news blast on his phone about Charlie Kirk, and he in high school, that's some deep tapioca right there. Hey, gentlemen, thank you for after the exactly. It was on his
Charlie
phone.
Kirk got murdered.
So
Yep, it got on my grandson's phone. He's 16 years old.
And no one deserves. I'm not condemning murder. No one deserves to die, right?
Right.
But just as important
Yep.
as Charlie Kirk's life was to a lot of people, these other lives are just as important, and that's the point that we're missing. We're not talking about the two
Yep.
senators that were murdered by the cop. I mean, you don't even hear their name. Trump didn't say a word about them people, and this is our leader. This is the highest office in the whole world. And he didn't address it. Oh, they were Democrats, so that they're probably bad people, so they deserve it. This is who people are looking up to. And if you don't think there's something wrong with that, and you want to call yourself a Christian, I'm not going to your church. You know what I mean? That is crazy. I'm not. Because the Bible and the Lord and Savior that I follow says, treat thy neighbor better than I treat thyself. So until we get back to that, hey, dude, we're going to have problems. You know what I mean? And it's showing its head.
Come on, man.
And anyone
Come on, man.
that can protect pedophiles and make excuses for 12 and 13, 14-year-old girls, but they got ran through by these guys.
Because at the bottom
still
line, I'm gonna
worship
keep
this
it a buck with you.
Now you better check yourself.
I have
Something's wrong
daughters.
with
Joe got a daughter. You do. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You fuck with my kid, I'm coming after your ass, and that's just gonna happen. I'm gonna let the chips fall, man. Where they fall. It is what it is. But I'm that guy. I don't care. I'll go to jail. I will be a jailhouse lawyer or a preacher. You can't get no behind because I'm old. Okay, so that's a wrap for your ass. So listen, I gotta do what I gotta do. But nah, man, this whole thing of just treating women any way you want to, nuh-uh. Mm-mm. That's what I'm saying. That's the psychological trip about these women who stay on his ass. Something's wrong with them.
Something is warped in your head. But you know what? And even if I didn't have a daughter, this would still bother me. It would bother me because I care about people, and no child deserves to have this done to them. These are not these girls' fault.
These are children, man. These are children, and their whole lives have been
they don't even know what they want right now
because some freaky dicky shit that they want to go through and have some kind of sacrifice, all kind of weird.
You know, guys, that you just said it. You just said it right there because this is the tip of the iceberg. They don't want you to know it's in those files because it's a lot worse than just human trafficking. There is a lot of vile behavior.
And it's your president. And they're worshiping this guy and protecting this guy.
And it's both sides, Greg. It's not just Trump. It's Clinton, too. It's all these politicians. It's a big club, and we're not in it. And that's what it comes down to. It's even the idea of racism and race. It's all taught by these evil white people that rule things.
I know, but it's corporate America. It's powerful men being powerful and being protected for so long. So I'm not saying, I don't care if you're blue, if you vote red, you vote blue. If you did it, you're guilty. Hey, a crime. Like I said, you want to have war on drugs, but what about war on pedophiles? What about war on pedophiles? You know, he's pardoning guys.
Sex trafficking.
That are raping little boys.
All out there. And Ryan, you said it. It is so much more to this. It's so many more people involved in this, okay, that it reaches to the highest plateau. Hey, yo, we got to get out of here. This is our post show, WGO. Greg, thank you so much, man. Joseph, as always, it's a pleasure just to be in your presence, my brother. And Ryan V down at NYC, you always put it together for us, man. So thank you. No.
I'm psyoping it, baby. I'm infiltrating, baby.
And once you go black, you kind of don't go back.
By the way,
I'm just
do
Ryan.